You'll be amazed at how much money you could save by refilling these £1 gas canisters at home. And in today's short video, I'm going to talk you through the process and show you just how quick and easy it is to do. This Burnsomatic bottle cost me 25 Australian dollars, and this refill cost me $1.50. That's 17 times cheaper refilling my own at home. And it's worth noting that it's not just these £1 Burnsomatic bottles that you can refill in this way. If you're into camping, it's the same process for those as well. The first thing you're going to need is one of these small adapters. Now, there are two different styles that you're going to come across depending on when your propane bottle was made. Therefore, I put links to both of those in the description below. And of course, you're going to need a propane tank from your local hardware store. Now, the first step is to vent that empty container to ensure that all of the propane has been removed. And you do so by pressing on the Schrader valve with a punch or an Allen key, anything that will fit inside, until you hear that it's no longer hissing. And there's a lot of misinformation online that by freezing this tank, you somehow create a vacuum that draws that propane in, and that's simply wrong. What actually happens is that by lowering the temperature of this smaller canister, the propane will stay in its liquefied state without vaporizing. Now, it is possible to overfill these tanks, therefore it's so important that you weigh the container before and after filling. We start by threading the adapter onto the larger tank, but be aware that depending on which one of the two adapters you need, it may be reverse thread. Therefore, left is to tighten and right may very well be to loosen. Then we turn the canister upside down, 180 degrees, and that way the liquefied propane is closest to the opening of the valve, and make sure that you've still got access to the regulator knob to be able to adjust it shortly. We'll weigh our small canister while it's empty and vented, and then take a note of what the net weight is of that liquefied propane, and that number will be written on your container. Now we'll add the two numbers together to get our filled or gross weight, and we'll use that as a reference to fill to shortly. And next we can place that can into the freezer for about an hour or so. Next, take it straight out of the freezer, screw it directly onto the adapter, and then quickly open the regulator valve. Now listen carefully and you'll be able to hear a hiss. We want to wait for that to stop before closing that main valve, and it normally takes a minute or so. Flip that main canister back upright, 180 degrees, and then carefully remove the smaller tank from the adapter. Next, we weigh that bottle. Our gross weight, the weight that we're aiming for when the canister is full, is about 800 grams. It's vitally important now that if you weigh it and it weighs over the gross weight that we've just stated, that you then vent the tank back out. And wearing your gloves and glasses, place that punch into the ground, and don't even consider doing this indoors, regardless of how well ventilated it is, and gently press on the valve inside the filler portion of the bottle for a few seconds. Reweigh that tank and repeat that process as many times as it takes until you're under that gross weight. And I fully understand if you have reservations on this procedure. You want the cost saving without that inherent risk, and therefore I've got a couple of alternatives for you. The first is to purchase one of these extension hoses, which will allow you to connect your torch directly to that large gas tank without the need to refill the smaller ones, so you can do away with them completely. The second, if you want the portability that this won't offer, is to buy a purpose-built refillable container. I've put links to the hose, the adapter, the refillable containers, the gloves, the glasses, everything you'll need in the description below, so that you can choose which process you want to follow and have everything ready to do so. And these aren't the only containers that you can refill. You can also, with a little bit of modification, refill the aerosol type ones as well. Therefore, I've got this video up here for you to watch next. I hope you enjoy that, and I'll catch you over there.